everybody, it's Freda. It's October the 13th, 2014. Little bit of a personal note, but with the Sergeant Tamarusi situation going on, Alan Brown and Terry Sharp are re-walking. They're doing their walk again back to DC to the White House, hoping that this time they've got a little bit more media help to get their message out and for Obama to actually acknowledge their arrival when they get there. Unfortunately, I don't know if that is going to work, but Terry Sharp says that when he gets to DC this time, he's not going to be quite as polite and nice. I'm not sure what that means, what his intentions are, but certainly we're going to be watching and following that. So they're heading up Route 29 again on foot. Ebola, you know what, guys? You know, I gave you my opinion. I showed you the links a few videos back to the patents. There's more patents than just those that I linked to. I was trying to keep it simple, stupid. So I only shared like 3 patent links, but in the meantime, I know and you know that we're heading into midterm elections. I'll bet you right before the elections they're going to come out with the approved vaccine or the announcement of it. And they'll be like, you know, it'll be ready for everybody to get their vaccinations by March or something. Mark my words, they're going to want you to get your Ebola vaccine just like the flu vaccine. I, for one, do not take the flu vaccine. I took it one time. I got sick. I hear various stories on it. You know, it's a personal call. But that's what it is. It's a personal call. I'm afraid they're going to try to force us to get these vaccinations. And I'm afraid that these vaccinations will give us other things. If you have any medical or scientific experience and you get bored, go back through my videos. Find the video about patent for death. A patent for death, Ebola. That's the name of the video, and if you look in the description below the video, you'll see the links to the patents. Please take the time out and read them. Give me some input. You know, looks to me like they've got a good start on the vaccine, if not already has the vaccine. But what's more interesting is that they have the trademark or the license so that anybody that would be to come up with the vaccine, U.S. government and the CDC and the Department of Health and Human Services will get royalties on it. They refer to him as Reverend Louis Farrakhan. I'm not sure what's reverend about him after some of the things I've heard, but he's now saying that Ebola is a race-targeting bioweapon. He says he's telling the black community that white people created Ebola to exterminate black people. This thing is not a black person virus. This is not, oh God, these people like that, you know, when you talk that race bait and crap, I'm not sure what he hopes to gain from it. You know, it's very frustrating. He says the United States has a desire for world depopulation. Well, that's true. It's not the United States, Mr. Farrakhan. It's a new world order. We are one of the largest puppets on the stage, of course. Oh, another thing about the Ebola. I'm going to put a link to this down below the video. Agencies at odds over Ebola waste disposal. Basically, when they're taking care of these 2 or 3 patients that we have with Ebola, they're not sure what to do with the materials afterwards, how to discard them. You know, the stuff needs to be incinerated or something, and these hospitals are like, what do we do? How do we get rid of this without, you know, contaminating further or spreading it further? And that's kind of scary. That scares me more than the idea of, can a hospital handle you as a patient coming in? I think they can. I think even if they're not set up and prepared for it, I think that most doctors and nurses have enough knowledge to do a lot of good trying to contain and quarantine within their own hospitals. We've got to give our health workers some credit here. Most people, for example, nurses especially, that go into the field, they don't go into the field because they want to work secretly with the New World Order and, you know, kill everybody or kill themselves. They go into it for the right reasons. And once they get into the system, there's certain things that they can't do or that they're told to do, granted. But ultimately, healthcare workers are there because they wanted to help people. And it's like this poor nurse that came down with it that was taking care of the guy in Dallas. You know, the media, the CDC, they're all trying to say, oh, well, she must have broken protocol. Let me really put it to you this way. You're a healthcare worker, you're a nurse in a hospital. You deal with contagious infections, bacteria, viruses all the time. You are given a patient who has the most feared virus on the planet. You really think you're going to let your protocol slip at that moment in your career? Really? They're blaming her. You want to know what I think? I think this shit is airborne and or at least more transmittable than they are telling us. But they can't let us find out because this one nurse contracts it. They've got to blame her. She did something wrong. This woman's life is in peril right now. She's received a blood transfusion from one of the survivors, which, folks, I told you in those damn patents that nobody wanted to take the time to read, that were hooked up to my video, patent, Ebola, patent for death. That's how they did it. That's what they did. They gave the virus to monkeys, and the monkeys then produced the antibodies. They were trying to create the vaccine, and that's what they did, and that's how they know. The doctors that they brought over, the very first ones that they brought over to the CDC in Georgia, the very first one, and then his nurse who had it, they gave them the blood transfusions from survivors. That's the cure. In order to have the cure, you have to have survivors. In order to have survivors, you got to have somebody that gets sick. I saw earlier something, and I can't remember. It was on Facebook, but I didn't save the link. 10 military personnel have accepted an experimental shot or vaccine or whatever. So we'll see what happens there. See if these guys wind up actually getting it or not. And if they do, if it protects them. Because if they give them the vaccine, then in order to see if it's going to work, they're going to want to try to give them the virus. That's a scary spot to be in. I wouldn't want to be them. Public health emergency declared in Connecticut over Ebola. I mentioned this the other day, and I had several people ask me for more information about it. I'll put the link below, but on October the 7th, the governor of Connecticut filed a declaration of public health emergency, and the governor has authorized people to literally be quarantined over being suspected of having Ebola. A little bit closer to my home, Richmond, Virginia, a clinic isolates a patient to evaluate possible Ebola risk. The patient traveled to Liberia a couple of weeks ago, and then he came back. What in the hell are you doing going to Liberia right now? You idiot fools. It's like you want it or something. You know, it's like, oh, he's at low risk, but we're isolating him, just like this whole Connecticut thing. So now, folks, you get a cough or a sneeze or a fever, you might have Ebola. They could quarantine you. But this guy actually went, or woman, I don't know, went to Liberia and then came back. Who goes to Liberia? And why would we let you come back if you were stupid enough to go? Anyway, other than that, only other really thing that is on my mind tonight, I can tell that Manny Vega has returned from the border. Have not heard any updates from him directly, but I can see that he is alive and kicking, made it out there safe, and he's back in the area. So hopefully I'll get to catch up with him soon, or he'll post an update or something for us. But that's good news. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know I'm still alive and kicking. I went to a magic show tonight here at the resort, which was really cool. Done a few things like that. So, and I'm going to a haunted mansion thing, or haunted forest tomorrow for Halloween celebration, so I'll be a little late getting on here tomorrow. That, or maybe I'll post a video before I go. That's what I'll do, because I'm not going until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But anyway, I just want to touch base with you guys, and like I said, some links will be below the video. Hope you guys are doing good.